Okay, so when we left off last night, we had one good casting, one bad casting. This is the guy's good casting here. The other one was just too far gone for this application to try to rejuvenate, restore, rebuild, whatever you want to call it. I do have a use for it. I'm not just going to throw it out. I'm a bit of a hoarder. Don't believe in throwing this old stuff out. I mean, this is from the late 60s, right? But anyways, so I dug one of mine up, and I've had this on one of my personal engines. I replaced it. I know the history of these heads. Ignore the black. That's just the die come from when I milled the thing. Anyways, we run it through our shot blast cabinet, hot tanked it, shot blasted it. We've milled it. We put all new guides in. We put all new seats in it. And what else did we do? Milled it, like I said. So this one here, the other head, we had to mill it 10 thousandths. This one we had to mill 5 thousandths to bring them so the CCs will be the same. I have a way of measuring. I'll show you that later to see how much has been previously milled out of them. I've got a little bridge deal that goes off of the intake rocker stud. Seems like a very accurate way to measure the height of it. So we're going to get started on this now. New guides, new seats. That includes new exhaust guides, pressure test it to make sure they don't leak coolant. And I'll just show you the game plan now. So like I said, it's just going to get a good solid rebuild, but we're going to do a few enhancements to it. We're going to do a little bit of bowl work, porting. We're going to match it. We're going to smoothen out some of the roughness inside the ports just to, reduce the chance of turbulence and all that kind of stuff. A very basic porting job. Now what I do when I'm porting a head, best example will be to show you on the intake here. You can see I've already scribed it for port matching. Is I'll go in here with my die grinder, carbide bit, and then I'll switch it to a hard roll. But I'll start and I'll put both heads up, and I'll do this side of this port here, here, and here. And then I'll just randomly say I'll do the top of this port and the top of all 8 ports. That way, for me, it lets me keep it much more consistent. It gives me a way better porting job. Kind of relieves the, I don't know what you want to call it, the stress, the monotony of it also. And so we're going to do that. But what we're going to do on this case here, because we're filming it, is I'm just randomly going to pick one, and I'm going to do it all, and then off camera I'll do the rest of them. Because we milled this, we have quite a sharp edge around here, very sharp. So we're just going to relieve this a bit, and the gasket's out quite a bit. We're not going to relieve it that much anyways. We're going to take that sharp edge off of there. That's going to be, especially over here, it's going to be an incredible hot spot, lead to all kinds of detonation and stuff like that. So I'm just going to ever so gently nothing special, nothing fancy, just relieve that sharp edge. The other thing I'm going to do now, in between the valves, we have a substantial ridge there. I just want to knock that down until that's level with the seats, so we get some good, there's some good flow happening there during our overlap. When you're doing this at home, You have to be very, very careful not to nick your seats. That's why I only roughed them in. I didn't do a finish grind on the seats in case I do nick one. So, I don't know if you can see there, one of the things I do when I'm doing stuff like this is I'll hold my, this is why I like the long ones too, is I'll hold this and I'll just kind of let it pivot in my hand and then I'll just work it back and forth like this. And I'm just knocking that down to the top of the seat. And that's that for that. Okay, now down into the throat. The throat is from the back of the valve seat inward. So there's a good bit of material in here that we can remove, but not as much material as you would think, okay? So, and then the same on the exhaust. So how this works is you take the size of your valve. In this particular case, it's 2.065. On the intake for this type of application, you want this throat diameter to be about 90% of that. That works out to 1.85. Now I've got myself a whole bunch of valves that I've cut down to various diameters, and I just use that as my gauge. See? And so I'm just going to go in there now, and I'm going to open that up. And again, I'm going to do this in stages. I'll probably work about this half, reposition myself, work the other half. I might do it in thirds. We'll see. Now, as part of my valve job, when I do the bottom, cut the bottom angle, I'll be coming in there with a 60 also and cleaning that up a lot. There, we're almost there. It happens quick, so pay attention. Don't get impatient. It'll happen quick. Yeah, just like that. And I'll even go in this way so the valve stem will hold that concentric and we know that we're all the way around like that. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with the exhaust. I just take an old set of valves and turn them down on the lathe, and then I mark them and number them by size for later. If you look at your seat, the back of your seat, and by the back I mean the low part, they have a substantial, well, I guess you'd call it a Venturian. In a sense, that's exactly what it's there for. If you were to come off of your valve seat and go straight down like that and remove all that material, thinking that you are going to have more room for flow, you have effectively killed that part. That is, having that Venturi in that area at the bottom of that seat is very, very important. Looks like the exhaust on this one is perfect. Oh, yes, my exhaust measures 1.720. The exhaust you want to use 86 to 87%. That gives us a 1496, so we're just going to say a 1.5. And that just fits in there very well. Okay. So when we come back to this part of the port now, we'll go in there with the hard roll. We'll just make this, smoothen this, the burrs we have from our die grinding bit up a bit. We're just going to smoothen in here. We're going to, on the exhaust port, we're going to make it quite fine sandpaper. The exhaust, we're going to keep it a bit rough to help the flow atomize. That chamber's done. To recap, we've relieved this, and we've done the bowl work. Okay. On to, well, let's just